like
Dress up, bless up, step up and get it. Lace up, face up, I'm here to win it. It's for my city, and the team coming with me. Headed for the championship, even if the road is long. Legends pave the way for us. Nothing in this world can take it from us. Don't underestimate our generation when you see us coming for ya. And when you knock me down, I'm getting back up. Cause when I step on the floor, you know your time's up. I'm on my way. Detroit basketball.
YouTube, what's up, man? It's King and Deuce once again. We are here to talk Pistons, man. Deuce, what's up, fella? I know you're not feeling the greatest, but
what up, though, man?
Yeah,
man. Tough game, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, tough game. Listen, man. Before we even start, I just want to say this to everybody in the comments. First and foremost, what up, though? Second of all, listen. This is the playoffs. The Pistons lost one game. They lost one game. They have to learn from this game.
Yep.
Let's not hit the plutonium button already and try to blow up the world because the Pistons lost a game. All right. Let's keep the testosterone in your system and act like men. All right. That's all we ask for. Bring it down. All right.
Yep.
Now, the loss was disappointing in the fashion that it happened because you know that the Pistons beat themselves. That's the annoying part, right?
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Had to say that real quick.
Key point, Deuce.
Yes, sir.
Key points to the game.
Man.
Why did we lose this game?
Okay, so first of all, shout out to y'all. Y'all are already deep in here, man, in the comments. I see y'all going crazy already. Yeah, I feel your pain. I feel everybody's pain here. But this is definitely a lot to unpack from this game. We're gonna do the best we can to really unpack it. I actually had the Pistons winning this game. We talked about it in the last show. It looked like they were on track to do that. There were some things that happened in this game we're gonna get to, right? Like injuries, things like that. But for me, bro, let me start by saying this, bro. This was a very competitive basketball game. The back half of the fourth quarter, it kind of got away. But 3.5 quarters, I felt was very competitive. This game didn't disappoint from a basketball fan. As a basketball fan of just the game and watching the game, I liked it. It was both teams are battling. Nobody wanted to give an inch. So I enjoyed it from that point of the game. If we get 6 or 7 games like this, which I predict 7 games, Pistons winning 7. If we get 6, 7 like this, I'll be very happy. But tonight and watching this game, the thing that I noticed, bro, initially was that the Knicks came out of this game and they hit first. They came out of this game and they hit first. They had the crowd behind them. They had the intensity. First home game of the playoffs. They were sharp. The Knicks were sharp early, especially defensively. The Pistons had like 3 points, and I think in the first 5 minutes of this game. The offense just could not get moving at all. And we know, King, we talk about all the time. The Pistons, they love to run, but the Knicks early in this game were getting back in transition. They did not give up a lot of dunks, layups, things like that. But what I like too, bro, the Pistons didn't lose their composure. The fourth quarter, it got away for various reasons, but in the beginning of the game, they didn't let it get away from them. They had foul trouble, but they slowly worked their way back into the game because after the first couple minutes, when they were trying to the Pistons trying to hit home runs on defense, right, trying to get steals and things like that, when they stopped doing that and just kind of just played discipline defensively, moving their feet, just doing the little things, making the right plays, that's how they were able to get back into the game, playing their style of ball. So for me, that was what I took away from a positive standpoint, is that the Pistons took a hit and they were able to give some hits back. And for a lot of this game, they controlled it. They were in control. They were in the driver's seat, but unfortunate things happened and, it kind of got away. What were your thoughts? What did you see initially? Like, what your overall thought of this game from beginning to end? And anything stood out to you?
Yeah, most definitely. First of all, shout out to all of the donations that we just got.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
shout out to Blood Range Tears, man. New York fan, New York content creator. Been communicating back and forth, man. So, yeah, we'll definitely see you guys Monday. Y'all fought
Shout out,
a hard fight, and y'all won.
yeah, shout out to Will too. I'm going to get to these before we get into it. Will
Mhm.
says tough loss, complete collapse, but they competed so well. Got to hit open shots and take care of the ball. We're gonna get into that later too, for sure. Dominic
Yeah.
Davis, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you as always, man. Dominic says offense went cold, dumb young turnovers, and I know they were playing Cade tough, but I needed to see him aggressively look for his shot at some point during that run. And Assar, I love you, but what's going on? That Duncan turnovers, man. I know, bro. That was this. Assar didn't play great tonight. He did not play a good game tonight. King, we talked about it a little bit. Go ahead, comment on that. I know you got some stuff on that.
Great comment, man. Great comment, Dominique, man.
Great comment.
And thanks for the donation too. That just came in. But listen, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm critically honest. I'm not a guy that's really worried about whose feelings it hurts, but you can't play like that in the fourth quarter. That fourth quarter play was the reason the Pistons lost this game. Those turnovers were back to back to back to back.
Yes.
Assar has been absolutely horrible for the last couple of games when it comes to the offensive side of the basketball. It's like his mind is somewhere else when he's trying to make simple plays.
Yes.
So let's just call it what it is. Tonight he was terrible. He was terrible tonight. And once they put the pressure on Cade in the fourth quarter, the decision making, it wasn't adding up.
Yeah.
Able to turn the ball over. We was throwing the ball out. The passes were a little lazy-ish.
Yeah.
It didn't sit right with me. But at the same time, me expecting what I expect out of him next game.
Okay.
I expect him to correct that next game.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's the playoffs. It's game one. You have to learn. You've seen the veterans. They came ready to play. Tobias Harris was excellent today.
Bro.
Beasley shot the ball well today. Schroeder, you've seen him make some plays out there as well. Those guys were prepared. These young guys, they need this type of game right here so they can learn from what not to do, because Assar has to learn you can't make them type of playoffs you make in the regular season. Those type of plays that you make in the regular season in the playoff. And then at the same time, Cade has to realize you're numero uno on the team. So in the fourth quarter, they're coming after you.
That's right.
You have to be smart enough to get that ball to your teammates, distribute the basketball until you can free yourself up on shots. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a tough series, obviously. The New York Knicks, you can't let guys like Payne get off like that defensively. Got to do better.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, Karl-Anthony Towns is an opportunist.
Absolutely.
He was quiet before the foul trouble. Then when Durant got in foul trouble, here he come yapping, trying to do what he do. Stu goes out, here he comes again, yapping, doing what he do. He's an opportunist. He's a fraud.
Yes.
He's an absolute fraud. So
we're gonna get to the individual guys later too, because I got a lot to say about a few of those guys you mentioned, bro. Great points you just made. Let's get to a few more of the super chats and then we'll get to individuals.
Yep.
Lawrence Cheer said, Dude said 7. Yeah, I call 7. I still have it going 7. I still have the Pistons winning this series. If we have health, right? I have to give a caveat with that because I expect us to be healthy for this whole series. If you don't have that, that's a different story. But I still expect the Pistons, if healthy, to win this in the same place they lost tonight. Madison Square Garden, Big Apple. I think they're going to win the series in 7 if that's the case. Shout out to you guys. Desola Shin Banjo. Hope I pronounced that right. Appreciate your contribution, bro. If you have a comment, let me know, and we'll definitely get to it. Appreciate you. Keep Detroit Sports Meme says we should have wore teal. Maybe we should have won, and we would have won. You never know. Daryl, appreciate you, brother. Pistons will win game 2 guaranteed. I think so too. If we're healthy, I think that's the biggest thing. So Keaton, you mentioned a few guys, man. Let's start with. I want to kind of get to the box score a little bit. You know how I kind of do it. I'm not gonna focus too much on that because I think the game was bigger than that. But I kind of look at some things that I saw. So you talked about Cade, right? So tonight, Cade had 21 points, 12 assists. Got to give him credit for that. 6 rebounds. He did have 6 turnovers, so a 2-to-1 ratio, assist turnover wise. 8 for 21 from the field is not great. 1 of 4 from 3 is not great. 4 or 5 from the line, that's solid. But before I jump in about Cade, is there anything that you want to comment on that you haven't already mentioned about Cade with his overall game tonight, bro?
Cade played well.
I can go ahead, but go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Cade played well into the fourth quarter. That's just it. All those turnovers came in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Before that, he was finding guys when they double teamed him. He was trusting his teammates. He was playing well.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter, man. That's it. It's nothing else I can say. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Hey. I mean, in a nutshell, I agree with you. I think like a lot of this game, I think we saw what we thought we were going to see, which was him getting double constantly all night, right? And for the most part, right, 12 assists. He tried to make the right play when it was there instead of trying to force the issue with his own offense, which I thought was great to see that from him, right? He was trying to negate the double team, right, by getting out in transition when it was there before the defense could set up, right? But that didn't happen too often. But, bro, this is why I've said time and time again that Jaden Ivey was going to be missed in this series because there's no way the Knicks are doubling Cade as much as they did tonight, and they're probably going to do for the rest of the series if Jaden is available. I'm not taking anything away from guys like Tobias and THJ and Bees. They all played well. But when you got a guy like Jaden who can get downhill the way he does out of a double team with numbers and put so much pressure on your defense in the paint at the rim out of a double team, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. And him not being available, and they showed him during the broadcast, he wants to be out there so freaking bad. You can see him just itching to get out there. But back to Cade, whenever he was able to get single coverage, which wasn't much, it was like he smelled sweet baby rays, bro. Because it was barbecue chicken every time he had a single coverage. When it was just him on Anunoby or Bridges or Hart, when it was just one-on-one, he was getting to he was able to get what he wanted, like he's done all year. So I like that part of it, but they got to figure something out because they're blitzing him, and it is very much so bothering him. The way they're blitzing him and really just trapping him with the basketball. So that's something they got to address for sure.
Yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, just gotta be more careful with the basketball.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, some of those turnovers wasn't even because of pressure. It was just lazy pass.
I agree with that.
You know, stuff like that, careless dribble. You gotta be a little bit more focused in that fourth quarter. And like I said, it's easy for us to sit here online and say that, right? But at the end of the day, it's the playoffs. The expectations are going to be the expectation. He's your superstar player on your team.
Yeah.
That's the way people are going to look at it, you know, whether it's a fair shake or not. So,
yeah,
got to be better, man. And then, like I said, if you're going to start Assar, like, come on, bro. You know, got to play better.
Yeah.
Got to play better if you're going to start him.
Come on back around. Says, did you notice Brunson's ankle stopped hurting as soon as he got the lead?
Yeah, I noticed it twice. He did it twice. He did it twice.
Really? I didn't peep that.
Yep. The first time he did it, he sat on the side of the rim like he was so hurt, got up and was looking just fine. Then he did it again when he went to the lane for a layup, like he tweaked his ankle. Yeah, he did it twice. I said there's some frauds, man. they that's what they do. If you watch the game, all game, they look for fouls. That's what they do.
Yeah, I can't stand that foul.
And you can't be now. Let's get to that portion because
talk about it.
You know, K had the fourth quarter. He had fine, whatever. During
let's get
during in the first half, the Pistons, you know, once they start, you know, getting things under control, they was kind of pushing for the lead. During with these handsy moments, man.
Yeah.
Unnecessary fouls, you know what I'm saying, that take you out of the game. That's got to stop. You know what I'm saying? The playoffs, that it kills you in the playoffs. I just read a quote from Tobias Harris. He just did his press conference. And he was just explaining. He was like, yeah, you know, it was a tough loss, but that's the playoffs, man. You're going to have to play four quarters in the playoffs. It's just the way it works, man. 100%. But he got to clean that up. You can't with the handsy fouls and the stupid plays. And we can't have guys out there scared to shoot threes. That doesn't work in the playoffs. You know, that was another thing that I noticed. So, man.
No, I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. Frank Norman says Uncle Timmy needs some love. We're going to get to him.
We're
going to get to him. We're going to get to JD first because King brought him up. And at some points, I got to address with JD that King actually touched on. Well, Frank, we're going to get to Timmy as well for sure. JD, bro. You mentioned the getting handsy, not playing disciplined defensively. not playing with his feet and playing with his hands.
Yeah.
And first play, remember last show, the playoff preview, for you guys who saw that, I said that I thought JD might get in foul trouble early in a couple of these games. Right? And that's why I thought Stu was going to be so important in the series because of that, because of his availability not being there. And so first defensive play of the game, bro, JD, there was an entry pass from Brunson to Josh Hart, who he was guarding. JD tries to go behind him and gamble and steal it. First defensive play of the game. I'm like, that's not a good sign. That's not like first play of the game out the gate. You're not playing disciplined defense. Not a good sign. I understand defense to offense, fine, but you got to pick your spots, bro. That's not a good idea. First play of the game. He gets a foul on that first possession. So at that point forward, for the rest of the game, you basically got to play soft defense. Just because
and guess who's going to take advantage of that? Just like the soft ass player he is, Cat.
Yeah, like you can't do that. You got to set the tone, not that way. You can't set the tone that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was the thing. I had a feeling, bro. Last show, I had a feeling that his defensive principles and maturity was going to be called into question. I just had a feeling it was going to be that way. So I was not surprised at all when I saw that. Like, I was disappointed in that, and just that play, just mentally. Like, you got to be smarter. You got to be smarter than that. Like, I'm all about getting out and getting turnovers and being who you are, but you gotta play discipline in the playoffs. But you only get four shots at this thing. You get 4 losses and you're done until next year. So sometimes it's better to just get the single. Don't get the home run. Don't try to get the steal and the dunk. Just play defense with your feet and get the stop. You know what I mean? Like, and he was just trying to make the home run play. And it wasn't just him. Assar was doing the same thing, which we'll get to. Assar was doing the same thing, playing too close, getting too aggressive. Like, you can't do that when your team needs you. So for me with JD, that was really what bothered me. Is he didn't show the discipline that I was hoping that he was going to show, that he's really had the back half of the season.
Listen,
gotta be better, man.
Gotta be better. You know, I remember way back in the draft, man, when we drafted Assar, and we was talking, and he was like, "Which twin do you want?" I was like, "Isaiah Thompson."
I'm not going there yet. I know. And I'm in for the record. Looks like a bona fide star. Like, he looks like he's going to be a star. Like, we want a star to get to that point of where he is a star, right? But I think it's a little bit more clearer right now with Amin. But I gotta give Assar credit and say he is 8 months behind. Right? That blood clot not being available, that did hurt him a lot. He's still catching up. But that doesn't mean that had he been available, that Amin still wouldn't be ahead of him. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you're right. I'm not mad at what you're saying. I'm not.
I'm just joking around, man. We did have that conversation, but I'm just joking around, man. I know. Because you know what's coming, right? You know, the Pistons don't win this series, then the Assar going to be on the chopping block if you don't play better. You already know how that goes. So, you know, right.
Yeah.
Another thing about Duren.
Go ahead.
No, I was about to say one more thing about Duren. Get your ass out the paint. Get out the paint, Duren. You know what I'm saying? We can't be getting 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, we can't do that. We can't be on the sideline, not passing the ball in. You know, like I said, just mental mistakes today. Those have nothing to do with the Knicks. You know, so that is you. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's obviously the youth show today. It showed, and I expected it to in game 1. The youth showed. I expected the youth to come out and play like it was a regular season game. It's not that. And this is not that, man. So go ahead.
This is why I was hearing people say Pistons in 5. Pistons. Like, I'm like, no, bro. Like, it's not just about giving the Knicks credit. It's about understanding this is the first time these guys have been here before. The core guys, right? The vets played well. Every single vet who played in this game played very, very well. It's the reason the Pistons had controlled this game for a lot of the time they had the game. But our core guys have not sniffed the playoffs. They have not sniffed the NBA Cup, let alone the playoffs. It's a different environment. The game is called differently. All these things are different. And that played a part into why they lost this game. So that has to be taken into consideration, man. 100%. And you mentioned a lot of the things. I wanted to get to what Keith Lee said. Appreciate you always, bro. Always important. We will win game 2. I agree. If we're healthy. By the way, what do you think of the chances we can get? I don't want Jaren Jackson Jr. as an aside. I'm not a fan of him. He's not. I don't think he's the defender we need. I don't think he's the guy we need personally. You know who I want. You know who I want, right? I want Naz Reid. You guys know I want Naz Reid. That's my guy that I want this offseason. But what are your thoughts on Jaren Jackson Jr.? Just kind of getting taking a brief intermission from the game and commenting.
I mean, obviously that is probably coming from an offensive standpoint, right? Just to have a guy that can put the ball in the basket, man. Yeah. But like I said, to me, it really does nothing. So Tobias did his job tonight. You know what I'm saying? So you probably gonna get the same thing. So it's obviously Tobias probably is gonna move on, but I don't think Jaren Jackson is the guy that we need. We need somebody else to come help defensively. Yeah, because you see what happened when Stu went down. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we got some guys in here that's gonna be able to defend the basket, and that can move their feet, which continues to be a problem. Right. And I seen a comment, man. Listen, I'm not throwing any twin up under the bus. I seen it. There we go. I'm not throwing him up under the bus. I'm being real. This is just who I am. Yeah. He had a horrible game, and it's been for a couple of games now where the mental mistakes have just they're killing us. Right. They really are. They're killing us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So just as much as you praise a player, you got to call them out too.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be even with it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it is what it is.
When you mentioned bench. Oh, go ahead. You want to get to the bench?
No, I was going to say with our bench, you know what I'm saying? As far as our bench coming in and playing with the effort that they did. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on the bench?
Overall, I thought the bench was okay. I thought the bench, the guys that played, I mean, Schroeder played well. I thought Bees played well. Ron Holland could have played better. It was his first action in the playoffs, but for all these guys, he's a rookie. Made some rookie mistakes. I'm kind of gonna get to him a little bit later, but I thought as a whole, the guys that played were solid. I felt like they actually helped us get back into the game when the Knicks hit first, when the Knicks kind of hit us in the mouth first. Because think about our bench, a lot of our vets are on the bench. Schroeder, Bees. So to me, they were important to us getting back into this game and kind of just stabilizing who we are and what we do. What are your thoughts on
that? Yeah, like I said, I basically same thing. You know what I'm saying? I was saying. So yeah, I totally agree with that. These comments just threw me off.
I got you. I know. Yeah.
I don't think y'all was listening at the beginning of the video. Did y'all get here? Yeah. Did y'all get here late or something? I don't know if y'all got here. I got on Cade in the very beginning of the videos. The first thing I talked about.
Yeah.
So it ain't no glazing here. We kept it 100. The fourth quarter killed us.
Exactly.
That's just what it is. I mean,
he's got to be better. He's got to be better.
Better. That's just what it is. Yeah. I mean, we ain't gonna sit here and keep harkening on it. It's other parts of the game that we got to talk about.
We call both sides, bro.
Yeah.
That's one thing I think we try to call it fair. I don't like everybody. Listen, everybody has a bias, but that doesn't mean you can't tell it like it is.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think that's where you at with it. But yeah, Cade, a few guys, had they played better, we might have had a better chance to win this game. And the two guys we mentioned are two of those guys. If Cade and Assar play better, we have a better chance to win this game. But to Cade's credit, he played much better than Assar. That's the point I'm trying to make. You know what I'm saying? Cade was much more of a plus than Assar was in this game. I don't see Assar getting 12 assists. You see what I'm saying? Finding other guys, and Assar doesn't have the same attention on him offensively that Cade does. Let's be real. Let's be real about it. If and when Assar does improve his game, he'll be able to do a lot more because he'll be able and have the ability to. So you gotta keep that part in mind too.
Assar's wounds are self-inflicted most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Especially offensively with the turnovers. They're self-inflicted. Mm-hmm. So that's just what it is. I mean,
let's get to DG real quick because DG said, shout out to you, DG. We need to call it how it is while also understanding that this is their first playoff game. We'll be fine, chat. We'll be fine, chat. Pistons in 6. Yeah, I agree. I have him at 7, DG, but I'm not mad at 6. That means he got to win 4 out of 5. That's going to be a tough task, especially not playing this series, starting off at home, I mean, you got to win. You can't. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. We'll see. It could happen, but it's gonna be tough. But I definitely agree with the first part that this is their first playoff. That's honestly why I don't think it's gonna go 6, DG, because this is their first go around. This is their first rodeo in the playoffs, and we saw that tonight. So that's why I think they'll win the series if healthy, right? But they have, this is growing pains. This is part of it. We talked about growing pains all year. We talked about not jumping off the boat when they started off 0-4 and not getting too high when they went on the 8-game winning streak. You got to stay here. You know what I'm saying? They're not as bad as 0-4, and they're not as good as an 8-game winning streak. They're somewhere in the middle. So to Gigi's point, we got to just relax. It's just one game, right? Get back at it Monday night and go from there. But at the same time, still acknowledging, King, the things that we saw with our eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to you mentioned Assar. Did we go into Assar in depth? I feel like we kind of did, but there's some things I still wanted to talk about with him. And for me, bro, with Assar, it's just how the reason that I'm getting on him the way I do is because of how important he is. He's super duper important to this team, especially in the series when the head of the snake is Jalen Brunson. Assar has to be on the court for the Pistons to be who they want to be defensively. And he has to be smart while he's on the court. You can't be trying to pressure Jalen Brunson 90 feet from the basket, bro, in the first quarter. You're more likely to get a foul called on you than to get a clean steal on the road at MSG on Jalen Brunson. It's the same mental mistakes you mentioned with JD. JD, first defensive play of the game, trying to get a swipe and gamble and you can't. You're going away from who you. I think sometimes youth makes it harder to stay to who you are because you want to you're trying so hard to win the game that sometimes you get outside of who you are. I saw Ron Holland do the same thing, right? He had an open 3. He didn't even take it. He tried to go to the hoop. That's not his game. If he's open,
it got him sat down.
JB said, "Come here," immediately. So that's what we mean about the youth. It ain't just one guy. All these guys have to get that experience under their belt. And we saw all manifest tonight. They were all doing uncharacteristic things that they did not do 82 games regular season. It is what it is. So for me, with Assar, he has to be smarter defensively. We see when he's like, he has these flashes where it's just like, dude, what in the world? How did you just do that? Like we talked about the spin move for the layup, looking like he moved out 1.25 speed YouTube. Like, how is he moving that fast? You know what I'm saying? Like, so he has the potential, but that's why we're so hard on him because we know how good he can be. But you can't be hurting your team the way you're hurting your team right now. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be smarter and not try to make. He had 2 fouls, bro, where he was crowding Jalen Brunson's space and getting called for backcourt fouls. You can't do that. You can't. Once you get one, you can't do it again. It's just the mental part. He's so important defensively, but if you're not playing smart, you're hurting the team defensively. So that's my only thing with him. Just play smart, bro. Stop trying to get the home run every time.
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like we the only one sober tonight. Did Stu play bad tonight?
What? No.
Was Stu trash
tonight? Oh my gosh. No, not at all. I don't know what you was watching, bro, but Stu was not the problem tonight.
Drinking and drugs are very, very harmful to your brain, kid.
Just say no.
Don't do drugs. Don't drink,
bro. Let's get to THJ because someone mentioned him earlier. I think it was Frank. Yeah, Frank mentioned THJ earlier. King, your thoughts on THJ tonight, bro? What did you see from THJ?
Did his job. It's the same thing all the time with THJ. Either he's on or he's off. But guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna do his job.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You even seen him pass up some threes and try to take it to the basket. You know, he shot some mid-rangers tonight. He just was playing playoff basketball. That's just what it was. So he's a model player of I come in, I do my job, bam, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
He's a stabilizer. Like he literally is a stabilizer. I mentioned before that I expect him to be the same exact player that we saw in the regular season. He's very robotic in the way he plays. He very rarely gets outside of who he is. He plays the same way. I was just hoping to see him raise it to another level in the playoffs, playing the same exact way. And that's honestly what all the rest did tonight. All those guys pretty much did that. They played exactly who they are. They didn't try to go above their head. They just played their game. This is exactly we know what THJ does. He plays tough defense. He moves his feet. He's like a leadoff hitter in baseball. He can get you a bunch of home runs, but he's gonna get you a bunch of singles. He's gonna get on base. He's gonna contribute. That's kind of what he does. He just does the non-glamorous things. It won't be on ESPN top 10. No highlight plays, but he just makes the right play that affects the scoreboard. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why I love him on his team, is because he just brings that. And then, of course, he brings the experience. It was a few plays in this game where you could see him trying to galvanize guys. You could see guys on one or two plays in this game napping, getting caught on backdoor cuts. And he's like, come on, like, wake up, let's go, like, get into the game. He brings that part of it too. So I think that part of it is experience, like, is important. Just the vets overall, man, their experience kept us in this game and gave us control of this game until the fourth quarter. So yeah, TSJ did what he always does. I have no issue with TSJ at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, let's get to Tobias, bro. Tobias freaking Harris. Do you want to go first, or should I go first on Tobias?
One man army tonight. One man army, bro. He again looked like what we paid for. We paid for him to come in and be what we saw tonight.
Right.
Simple and plain. I can't say anything about Tobias Harris, but that. And him, Beasley, THJ, they looked like the veterans that we needed.
Even shooter.
What we didn't have was the young guys to step in, because Assar was terrible. Ron Holland was absent today. Young guys didn't step in. Cade had a terrible fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's it. Other than that, all the other guys did what they supposed to do.
Yeah. For me, watching Toby, bro, and I was thinking too, man, like Daryl Morey, Paul George, and all of Philly are doing their best, like, Austin Powers impression of judo chopping air. Like, they got to be punching air right now, bro. Watching this man play at the level he is playing at right now. Tobias got to be like, Paul George over me at this point. And honestly, Philly probably feeling the same way. They would love to have him right now over Paul George at the discounted price, half the price, twice the production, pretty much. Man, like, we cannot ask, like you mentioned, $26 million a year for 2 years. People were losing their minds about this contract. And tonight, he was a player of the game for the Pistons. Far and away. Player of the game. In both halves, player of the game. He, like, we talked about how Jaden not being available makes it harder for Cade in how he's getting trapped more. Guys like THJ, Tobias, Bees, those guys had to be ready to try to be that guy when Cade made that pass. And more times than not, Tobias Harris was making them pay, knocking down shots. Whenever he catch the ball out of that pick and roll, out of that double team, sorry, he was making them pay. And I was very impressed, bro. Like, he's a consummate pro. We knew the Knicks were not going to allow Cade to just run rampant, right? Get whatever he wants to get to. And it was going to be important for guys like him to really step up. And did you see that three he made at the end of the half?
Mm-hmm.
You see how PJ Tucker looked at him as Tobias
as he was going to the locker room. Yeah,
PJ was on the sideline like, bro, what in the world got into you? So it's like everybody is seeing this boy's balling. He's balling right now. And you mentioned, like, as far as that four-man, he's given us everything. And I don't think anybody could ask for more. From the time we signed him to looking at him right now, nobody can be disappointed with Tobias Harris right now. Nobody. He's giving you everything and more on and off the court. For $26 million, he is worth every penny. Every penny. From getting suits, getting guys fitted, showing guys how to be professionals, getting ready for the playoffs, to his on-court production. Come on, man. You can't ask for anything more than this dude. And I was one of those guys early in the season that was saying, come on, Tobias, you got to pick it up. I wasn't never saying to trade him, like some people were, but he had to pick it up. And now he's peaked Tobias Harris. Far and away the best version of Tobias Harris I've ever seen in the Pistons uniform, including 2016, 2017. Far and away. On both ends, right? On both ends? Come on, man. Yeah, Tobias Harris balled. Absolutely balled out tonight. All right. I saw a comment I wanted to get to, too, from Keith. Keith with the great name. Keith Lee Petway. What's up, bro? Says, I expect Assar to bounce back. JD is going to stay out of foul trouble. Get a 2025-3 game 2. Well, Keith, in order for him to do that, and I'm not saying you're wrong, I hope you're right. You could very well be right. He has to play smart defensively. He has to, because if he doesn't, it don't matter what he does. If he can't get on the court, he can't play. And these early fouls with him, and like I mentioned before, Assar, just this lack of discipline and trying to be the hero and make the home run play, doing that is not going to allow him to get 20, 25, and 3. If he's able to bounce back in a mental way and really get back to who he was the last 30 games of the season, then yes, I see this 100% potentially happening, Keith. But that's the only way. It's got to start with him playing smart defense and not trying to make the home run play every single time. So we'll see. We'll see, Keith. If it happens, I will be sure to shout you all the way out if it happens. We'll talk about that. But appreciate you as always, bro. All right, man. Let's get to I kind of want to talk about JD because now that we're talking about him, I kind of want to talk to him really quick. Just a few things on JD real quick.
And I got an update after that. I just got on my phone.
Okay. So with JD, I mean, I understand this is these guys' first time playing, bro. But I just really, and I'm not gonna harp on this too much, but these guys are so important to our team. And I understand it's the first time, but it's just hard for me to see these guys play so well in the regular season consistently, and then get to the playoffs and kind of just go away from that. Because had they played to their strengths, I think we win this game, even with Stu going down. We were up 8 points with like 9 minutes to go. We were in control of the game. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of my only thing. If he's able to do that, we win game 2. I think he may be the key, but we'll see. Go ahead, bro. You want to comment on
something? JB Bickerstaff on Stu basically said that the last 9 minutes he kept Stu out, even though he came back from the locker room, simply because he just wanted to protect him as a player. So he said, obviously, Monday is a wait and see ordeal. It's a sore knee.
Okay.
But it's not nothing like a torn anything. But obviously, it's something that he probably didn't practice before the game because he wore the protective leg sleeve today for a reason. So, like I said, just something to keep an eye on.
Okay. For sure. Hopefully, man. Hopefully that doesn't linger.
Yeah.
I was kind of encouraged when I initially saw him hobbling, but they kept him in the game.
Right.
Because I know for sure, had it been something serious, JB would have pulled him with the quickness. So the fact he was still trying to play through it told me that maybe it's something he can play with. But once he started going to the tunnel, I was like, oh man, this ain't good. This is not good. So, and let's get this Stu. Let's get this Stu because he's so important to this team. And I think now everybody who wanted him traded earlier this season understands how important he is now. And this kind of thing happened earlier this season, bro, with Stu, when you saw when he was not available, his impact. Yeah. You guys probably remember I talked about it early in the season. I think it was the first matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. Early in the season, the game he got ejected for pulling on Giannis's jersey, right? When Giannis was in there and pulling him to the ground, that game. Pistons were up double digits, like 15 in the first half. He goes down, or he leaves the game, and guess who sees a clear lane to the hoop? Giannis. He starts going to the hoop every single time. Before that, he could not score. The Bucks won that game by double digits after trailing by double digits when Stu was on the floor. The same thing happened tonight. Stu leaves the game. There's very little resistance at the rim. It's just, I said when he left, this game is over. I said that. I said this game's over. Because I knew how they were going to play it. They were still within striking distance. It's 9 minutes left. They're only down by 8. It just had that feel. The same way that Milwaukee game had that feel that they knew how to attack now that he was missing. So we saw once again just how important Isaiah Stewart is to this team, man. Go ahead. What you got? By the way, Cat didn't even score in the first quarter. And Stu played all those minutes because JD was hurt or JD was out. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
It was the reason why I said he was a fraud. They're gonna have to play Paul Reed, bro. They're gonna have to. You know what I'm saying? If he's hurt to the extent to where, if he can't run and jump like he need to, you're gonna have to play Paul Reed.
Yeah,
And you're gonna have to give him, but you're gonna have to give him an assignment though, and it's gonna have to be defensive rebounding. We don't want to see that ugly ass jump shot.
Yeah,
defense, rebound.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you bring him in for, to try to suffice for, because, like I said, that's a huge blow. He's the heart and soul of your defense.
Yep.
It's like the 04 Pistons without Ben Wallace, bro. Because I'm gonna keep it 100. Jalen Duren has feet of stone.
He's not quick of foot.
No. So on the defensive end, you got to have that, and it sucks that he's dealing with that injury right now. After all we've been through this season, right now,
all year.
You know what I'm saying? So
he's been durable. He's been an Iron Man all year, bro.
All year. That absolutely sucks, man. But Duren, like I said, on the defensive end, man, don't move his feet. Always late. Using his hands most of the time, getting fouls. It's the same thing I've been talking about since day one of the season when we start having the discussion. He's been playing well as far as rebounds and offense. He's been improving his numbers, but defensively, I still have not seen enough to what the liking of his size and his ability and what you should be able to get out of him on defense. So still, like I said, Stu, being someone who's not as big or as athletic as you, should not be the better defender than you when it comes to moving your feet and protecting the paint. So like I said, it's gonna be tough, but Stu, we have to have him. Yeah, we have to have him, man.
Yeah, like I said, bro. Just and shout out to Juan. I appreciate you, bro. And it's not even just like, listen, like I'm not negating. I think y'all know by now. I try to keep it honest. I try to keep it a buck, and y'all know King do. Like that's who you've been since I've been watching you before I even started doing this, right? So it's not even about that. Because there were so many plays in the half court that the Knicks were getting whatever they wanted. It wasn't just defense or offense. It wasn't just Cade turning the ball over and they get runouts. I'm watching them in the half court run a basic pick and roll with Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, and nobody's under the rim. Nobody is there. This has nothing to do with Cade's turnover because that is valid. I'm just talking about both sides of the coin. So you can't say that we're not talking about Cade, but then not talk about nobody else either. You got to talk about everybody, which is exactly what we're doing, player by player. Are we not? So I'm just saying, like, you can have feelings about Cade that are valid. You can also have feelings about other players who also didn't play well. And other guys outside of just Cade didn't play well.
But still, like I said, the comments don't make sense because we talked about this first when we started the podcast.
We started off with this.
It's the first thing that we said. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what y'all want to what you want me to say. Trade him? Like, what do y'all want? You know what I'm saying? He played a horrible fourth quarter. That's just what it was.
Right.
But beforehand, those 12 assists obviously came from somewhere. That means when they were throwing the double teams at him, he was finding teammates. Fourth quarter was all on him. It's simple and plain. I don't know what else y'all want me to say.
Yeah, you're gonna leave it at that. Frank Norman says, watch for the adjustments game 2. Cade going to cook up a buffet. Hope so. I mean, I have confidence that he will. I'm sure they're going to make adjustments. You know what I'm saying? And we just got to wait and see. But I don't think Cade is going to have another game like this. I can put that on wax. I don't think he's going to have another bad game like this to where he's just turning the ball over like this in the fourth quarter. I don't see that happening. I acknowledge it tonight because I saw what I saw. And you saw what you saw. We got to wait and see. So we'll see. But good comment, Frank. I agree that it's possible. He's just got to make sure that he keeps an eye on his turnovers. Because tonight he looked like the Cade from early the season when he had the high turnover games, right? He was still trying to figure things out. So once again, I think he's going to figure things out. And we'll see what happens. Let's go to the bench, get a few bench guys in, bro, and then we can call it. We talked about Stu. What were your thoughts on Dennis Schroeder, bro?
Like I said, same thing with the rest of them. Did his job.
Yeah.
Came in, handled the ball, knocked down some timely shots out there.
Right.
Did his job. What we brought him here for.
Like
I said, this game was won until that fourth quarter. It was won. You had a cushion. You blew it. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, those guys, they all did their job. That's why, when I brung up the bench did their job.
Yeah.
But 2 of your starters cost you that game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's no other way to put it. Yeah.
That's a good way to that's a good way to say it. I think that's the fairest way we could say it, just to be 100%, keep it a bean 100% around. So Bees, right? Thoughts on Bees, man, because I thought Bees tonight really brought a lot of leadership to this team at a time when they needed this. Like I mentioned early first quarter, they had 3 points in the first 5 minutes. And he came in and gave him a lift. And he gave him a confidence boost. You saw he came into the game like, hey, come on, y'all. Let's the same way THJ was doing the same thing. Those guys are just kind of galvanizing again. I saw the Knicks, bro, meeting him at the 3-point line every single time he touched the basketball. Every time. Every time, man. So they were waiting for him. As soon as they were somebody was shadowing him every time. If they ran off a screen and roll, the big was getting out there. They were living with him making the pass out of the double team to the next guy, right? And more times than not, he did. And more times than not, when he was open, he knocked down shots. But you see the emphasis they're putting on trying to take away the strengths of our best guys, right? Doubling Cade up when he gets the ball out of the pick and roll, right? Making him think twice about running the pick and roll, right? B's doing the same thing. He catches the ball. It's 2 defenders right there waiting. They're trying to take away the best Assar, leave him wide open in the corner for a 3. They're trying to make the Pistons do things they don't want to do, which is what playoff basketball is. It's a chess match, right? But I thought overall he played good enough for us to win this game. You know, he took and made some tough shots, man. And defensively, he's not a good defender, but he is getting after it. He tries. I don't ever see him not trying defensively. That doesn't change the fact that he's not a good defender, but at least he's trying. He talks a lot. He communicates a lot defensively. That's the things I hear from him. So, he played a solid game. It wasn't glamorous, but it was good enough for us to get this dub. And he brought that leadership as a vet. He had 20 points tonight, 50% from 3, 6 out of 12. You know what I'm saying? So in 35 minutes. So yeah, like we get that. That's why this game is tough, because we got some big contributions from key guys. Tobias giving us 20, give us 25. You know what I mean? Like B is giving us 20 on 50% from 3, pretty much overall from the field. So it's like it hurts from that standpoint, because this was a game we could have gotten with signature performances from guys. They're gonna be forgotten now because we didn't get the dub. So not to put too much emphasis and panic on it, because it's just one game, but you got to get the game you're supposed to win, especially on the road. Not hurt.
Yeah. Like I said, man, all of the guys did their job.
Yeah,
I agree totally with Kenyatta's comment. That's just, at the end of the day, that's just what it is. I say I've been through too many rodeos, man, to panic after one game of basketball.
Absolutely.
It's like I said, it's a lot of emotions in the comments. That's fine.
Yeah,
but
I understand it.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Like I said, JB gonna have to make some adjustments. We noticed no Fontecchio tonight.
Can we talk about that, please? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I hate to keep going back to last show, but I feel like a lot of things we said last show kind of came to fruition tonight. And that was another one, bro. I did not expect him to play. The last 2 games of the season, he played 6 minutes and 5 minutes. It was a reason for that. I think we saw that he was not going to be effective. I think the coaches saw, because in the playoffs, bro, you know this.
Okay.
In the playoffs,
Deuce.
listen.
I don't mean to cut you off.
What's up?
I done had enough, bro. Y'all sensitive, soft ass dudes in the comments, bro. It's one game. Y'all know how I get down. It's one game, bro. One. You beat the Knicks ass 3 times this season. You're not going to go into the playoffs and sweep the Knicks. You fucking lost. Get over it. Grab your blankie and your tissue and take your bitch ass in the corner and go to sleep. Period, bro. Y'all got to chill the fuck out. That's just what it is. Y'all done push me to that point. And if you got a problem with what I'm saying, click this video and get the fuck on. I don't like bitch ass people in my comments, man. Quit acting like a female and like a bitch. Shut the fuck up and wait till next game. Period. And if you don't like it when you see me do something.
Come on, bro. We ain't doing all that. We ain't got to do all that.
We doing that. We definitely doing that.
Y'all done made him mad, bro. Why y'all do that?
Shut the fuck up crying. I hate bitchy men, dude.
So what he's trying to say, y'all, in case y'all didn't pick up on it, is that y'all panicking way too much.
One game, trade Cade. Like, shut the fuck up.
But look, though, this kind of talk, and I don't know, because I don't know who this person is, but stuff like, when I see stuff like that, when I see comments like getting better talent, that tells me that you didn't watch the game.
You just fucked this whole season, one playoff game. Now we gotta get better talent. Trade everybody on the fucking team. What the fuck are you talking about?
If you watched the game, you saw that we were in the game and leading most of the game. It's not that's kind of how you telling yourself. You kind of telling yourself when you do that, because had you watched the game, actually watched the game and paid attention to the game and not just box score watching, you would have saw the final score was not the actual game. We were up. We should have won this game. We should have won this game for sure. The talent is not the problem. So I totally agree with you on that, bro, because it kind of shows a little bit of ignorance when you make comments like that, because it really, had you watched the game, you would have saw it's not a talent issue at all. At all. It's more so just about making adjustments. It's the King said it. You know what? Now y'all making me mad. It's one game. Like, more times than not, the team with the better record that has home court advantage is going to win game one.
Y'all cry worse than Lions fans, bro.
Man.
It's the reason why I ain't doing no Lions content. Y'all cry worse than they do.
Y'all gotta chill. Not all of y'all, but some of y'all gotta chill, man. Like, I've been watching basketball for 30 years. I'm not panicking over one game loss on the road with a team that has not been there before. You gotta relax, man. So you can feel how you feel about it, but if you say stuff like that, you're gonna kind of get this response because it's warranted. Because if you haven't been watching, you're not paying attention, and you say stuff like that, it kind of makes you look bad. Just saying. So just pay attention. Don't overreact to one game. Like a few of you guys have said, don't overreact. Move on to game two. This is a series. It's not the play-in, guys. We didn't lose one game and now we're out. You know what I'm saying? This is not the NCAA tournament. It's not the NFL playoffs. It's not one game. It's a 7-game series. It just kind of tells me that a lot of you guys haven't experienced playoff series before. You know what I'm saying? When you overreact like that, it shows me that you haven't really been a part. And you know what? The Pistons have not been in playoffs often the past 15 years. So I will give you that much. But that's all I'm going to give you. That's all I'm going to give you.
Appreciate you, Big Hand, man. But that's how I get down on my channel. Y'all want to, us to sit up here and cry and do stuff for entertainment. You got plenty of content stealing creators out there to go watch. You already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of them out there y'all can go watch. But that ain't what you're going to get here. I'm not going to sit here and panic and cry and whine after one game of the playoffs, bro. That's just that ain't what we do. That ain't what we do.
We've seen too many series play out exactly like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if the Pistons were 3 and the Knicks were 6 and we lost home court advantage, I'm still not panicking over one game. It's just one game. It's a lot of moves in chess. This was the first move. So just relax.
Like I said, if the Pistons lost this series, I wouldn't blink an eye.
Come on. That's another thing too, bro. We have to get past just the moment. I always say this is just the beginning. These guys, like I mentioned, these guys have not even been to the NBA Cup yet. These guys are averaging 22 years of age, the young core? You don't think we're going to be back next year? How many teams have won championships with no playoff experience? How many teams have gone far in the playoffs with no playoff experience? The core. This is about building blocks. Every time the Pistons have won a championship in 89, in 90, in 04, look at the previous years. Look at 86, 87, 88. Look at 2001, 2002, 2003. What happened those seasons? What happened those playoff runs? They got bounced. That's what happened because they hadn't been there before. They had to learn. It took a few years. Look at the dynastic Boston Celtics right now, who everybody's saying is going to repeat. What have they done the last 6-7 years before they won a championship? They lost. They got bounced every year. Underachieved some playoff years. Why are you panicking? What are we doing? This is the process. regardless if we win or lose. This is the process.
This is the process.
This is
you
literally
have to learn. You gotta have to go through your bumps.
You gotta go through it.
Let them go through it.
Like now, I'm getting upset because it's like y'all really tripping like this over one game. One?
I told you.
What are we doing? Like I said, it just shows me you have not been through playoff series before. And when you say stuff like that, it's hard to take you serious because it shows you have not been here before. I'm 38, bro. I've been watching the same way you have basketball 35 years since before I could walk. This is nothing new. This is ho-hum. Gotta relax. Rise above. What's up, bro? All this game told me is that
the Knicks are Milwaukee fans saying trade Giannis right now after they got blew out.
After they got great point. Great point.
First game of the playoffs, you're gonna see a lot of teams lose in the first game of the playoffs. That's probably gonna end up winning the series.
Very playoffs.
Much so. That's how it goes, bro.
The Bucks are on the road too. And y'all gotta remember, going forward, we still don't have one of our best players available. God, man, come on. All right, I'm done. I'm not gonna get too riled up. Let's get back to Fontecchio. How am I gonna say I'm not gonna get riled up and then say Fontecchio? That's weird. Anyway, get into Fontecchio. I knew he wasn't gonna play tonight, bro. I had a feeling he was not gonna play. He's had the whole season to show us consistency, and he just hasn't shown it. He has not been in the playoffs. You need guys, regardless of your role, to be impactful in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's playing defense, whether it's scoring, when you're on the court, you got to be a net positive in some way. We've seen Ron Holland have terrible games shooting the ball, but have a huge impact. We've seen Stu have 0 ball games, 0 points, and be the player of the game. So Fontecchio doesn't do that. If he's not shooting the ball well, he's not really impacting the game positively and negatively more so than positively if he's not shooting the ball well because he's trying to do too much and outside of his scope. So think about this, bro. I thought about this earlier. Of every player that I've watched play meaningful basketball for this team, I could say every player on this team has had at least a 5-game stretch where they play very well. Every player except Fontecchio.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only guy who has not had a consistent stretch of basketball. And that's why he's not playing. They can't trust him. Your coach has to be able to trust you not to hurt the team in the playoffs. He doesn't have that trust because he has not been consistent, which is why I did not think he was going to play. So that's why I'm almost happy. But I'm happy that he didn't play in this game because I don't think he would have been helpful. I think he would have been somebody that would have
took up minutes,
been a body, and turned the ball over, unfortunately, against a team that will turn you over if you are loose with the basketball. Cade, we saw Cade loose with the basketball. They turned him over. What's Fontecchio going to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that is going to continue for most of the series. I don't think we're going to see much of him for most of the series. And I honestly don't feel bad about that because I think that's best for the team.
Right. So I want to say this right quick because I want to stay consistent with what I'm saying with Assar.
Yes, sir.
You know, that conversation did happen back in the draft. I'm probably sure y'all remember that if y'all been following long enough. But not saying that, you know, Assar shouldn't be off the team. What I'm saying is in the playoffs, you got to be better. And when I said, you know, Ausar Thompson, it was a reason behind that. It's because offensively, he was more ahead of Assar. Mm-hmm. And you've seen that tonight. And a player not being offensively skilled and not being able to put the ball in the basket is polarizing in the city. Y'all remember number 7 that just played here? You see what I'm saying? So y'all got to keep that same energy. You got to keep that same energy because just like he plays defense, number 7 played defense. He was near the top of the league in steals.
Right.
He assisted the ball. So
now, let me cover you real quick.
Same entrance.
He is in no way saying Ausar Thompson is on the same level as Killian Hayes. That's not what he's saying. I just want to make sure.
I'm just saying you can't protect one and then, you know, like I said, these games he's played have been horrible. That's what I said from the beginning. Mm-hmm. I didn't say the whole season. Right. I said these couple of games he's played. And today it killed us. Yeah. It killed us.
That's all facts.
That's all. You know, Assar, we've been talking, we want to keep it consistent. We've been talking about how it's going to take him a couple of years to try to develop some offense.
Mhm.
But again, him,
Go ahead.
Ron Holland,
Mhm.
y'all gonna be out there on the court. If you wide open on a 3-point shot, you got to shoot.
Right.
You got to shoot, because it's the moment you put the ball on the floor and make a secondary decision, you're gonna either turn the ball over, or somebody gonna end up stealing the ball, or whatever it is. Because we know Assar is not a great dribbler.
He's not.
So when he gets up under the rim, you've seen a couple of times with JD and Stu passing the ball up under the rim, he really couldn't figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
So, like I say, you got to pay attention to every aspect of the game.
That's a good point.
Every aspect of the game. I'm not watching from a fan standpoint. I'm watching like my son is out there and I'm coaching the team.
That's facts.
That's how I watch the Pistons.
That's facts. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, like, and it's just about this. We just talked about Fontecchio. That doesn't mean another player can do it just because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to excuse Assar from doing the same things that Fontecchio has done at times. He doesn't do it at that level. He's a much better player. I'm not even saying that. But bad habits are bad habits.
Mhm.
You know, bad decision-making is bad decision-making. Cade, Assar, Fontecchio, whoever is bad decision-making. So when they do it, you got to call it out. He has not been consistent. He has not been consistent. He's been great and he's been bad. And in the playoffs, you need consistency. That's why I'm harping on this so much, is because you need guys, even who aren't as talented. I am much more comfortable watching THJ on the court than Assar, because I know THJ is not going to hurt me. You know what I'm saying? His ceiling is nowhere near Assar's, but at least you know he's going to be consistent with how he plays the game. How many turnovers you see THJ average in a game? How many times are you up in arms with THJ? Oh, wait. It doesn't happen because he plays smart basketball. He plays the same way every single game. He doesn't hurt you. He may not help you as much as Assar does every second or third game, but he's not going to hurt you nearly as much as Assar does. It's the consistency. We need consistent play in the playoffs. That's the whole point. You got to be consistent. You got to be a star in your role. He has not yet become a star in that role yet. That's it. That's literally it. So
shout out to Dainty for the comments, man. You know, we talked about it. You know, Deuce definitely talked about it. Yeah, we need Ivy. We need Ivy,
man.
Bro. Like a sore thumb. We need him, bro.
Like last year, bro. Like
yesterday.
look, Cade still has to be better with the ball. I'm not gonna say that's, you know, like, he's got to be better whoever's on the floor. You can't be like that loose with it. And the second half of the season, he was great with it. He had an early stretch where he was bad. 10 turnovers in the game, 9 here. Like, it was like, whoa, come on, bro. But some of y'all is, once again, going too far. He ain't a point guard. We got to, like, come on. It's balance, right? But we can all recognize, if Jaden Ivey is available, how much easier the game would be for Cade and for everybody else on the court. Yes, guy. He was having a career year before he got hurt. I'm going to say this again for the 1,000th time. King, how many games have we seen a starting lineup of Cade, Jaden, Assar, Tobias, and JD?
Not even 50.
0. We saw 0 games, guys, this year with Cade, Jaden. Look it up. Cade, Jaden, Assar, Tobias, JD did not start one game this year. It was either, because think about it, to start the season, if you remember, THJ was playing the 3 because Assar was out with the blood clot. Assar was not healthy at the beginning of the year. He missed the first few weeks of the season, first few months of the season. So it was Cade, Jaden, THJ at the 3, out of position, playing against much bigger guys, Tobias, and JD. Then, the same time, Assar comes back and starts ramping up, still not starting, ramping up, getting 10 minutes here and there. Jaden goes down. So now, you swap Jaden for Assar. So now, you have Cade, and now you have THJ playing the 2, his natural position, instead of the 3, and now you have Assar at the 3. Tobias 4, JD 5. We've never seen one game this year with all of our starters. Not one game. Imagine how much better we'd be had we had Jaden for the full year. 2 game winners this season in less than half a season. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? Like, so yeah, Jake, if he's available, bro, I have no doubt we win this series. If he's available.
We gonna win game 2.
Rise Above says Brunson is pushing 30 and Cade is 23. I'd hope he'd be more seasoned. If the Pistons held on, they would have called for Tibbs' job. That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point. Yeah, we got to remember, Cade is young, man. Cade is young. A lot of these guys make mistakes early in their career. The Anthony Edwards of the world, Luka Doncic of the world. Stars have their moments. Everybody has their welcome to the NBA moment, and they have their welcome to the playoffs moment. It's just how it goes. Everybody. Jordan had him. LeBron had him. Bird had him. Tragic Johnson had him. Everybody had him. Tim Duncan had him. Kobe had him. Shaq had him. Everybody had him. KD had him. Russ. Everybody has had them. Everybody. Go do your Googles and do your research. Cade is not the anomaly here, guys. It happens to every single star. You got to go through those growing pains as a player the same way as a team. Pay attention. Am I lying? Come on, man.
We gonna win game 2. I guaranteed it. I guarantee it. We will win game
back
2.
of the paper, the side of the paper, middle of the page. We will win game 2.
We will win game 2.
Right. You know what's crazy? He was almost wrong on that prediction, bro.
Yeah, bro.
That was the game. I guarantee you, he took Tayshaun out for a steak that night. Because that was the game Tayshaun got the block. Was game 2. Indiana was on their way to going up 2-0 on us. And he got that game 7 block. Just want to put that out. Little quick history nugget for y'all.
This is why it's important, Pistons, for them to listen, man.
Yeah, man. Like,
this is why we got to show out at that stadium, because Pistons gonna need us behind them. They don't need this right now. They gonna need us behind them. We only need to win one game in New York.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, you gotta stop throwing your own team up under the bus, man, because you're mad. If you're mad, go get a drink. Go chill out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Go grab on your woman. Do something. But don't trash your own players, bro. Yeah, Minnesota's killing the Lakers right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They probably gonna end up sweeping them this series. They almost up 30.
You said they're gonna sweep them? You crazy.
They're gonna sweep them.
What's Nas Reed doing over there?
Killing them.
Really? Tell y'all, man. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you guys, bro. I want that man on this team, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care about no scuffle. I don't care about none of that. What can you do to court? What can you do to court? I'm gonna leave it at that because y'all know
Anthony Edwards only got 11, man. Nas Reed got 17.
See, this is what he does. He did this last year.
Yep.
When they were down 3 games, games, I say all the time, game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals against the defending champion at the time, Denver Nuggets. The Wolves were on the road in game 7, down 20 points in the first half. Down 20 on the road against the defending champions. They came back and beat them in game 7 on their court by double digits after being down 20. Guess who was one of the culprits of that? Nas freaking Reed.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, man. This is what he does. He takes his game up a notch in the playoffs.
Yeah, I totally agree, Juan. I think game 3, you seen all of the old Knicks players from Stoudemire to the youth, all of I'm like, look, they got the whole brass here, right?
I saw that too.
Wait till we get to Detroit.
They're gonna show up and show out, bro.
Man,
the whole going to work squad and the bad boys is gonna be there. They gonna be deep.
You think Spike Lee was clowning over there spilling drinks on purpose? Wait till you see Sada Baby and Jalen Rose. Sidelines over there. It's gonna be a problem.
I can't wait. That's why they have to bring back the final countdown. If all those guys are there, how do you not? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. That's all I got, man. I'm not trying to bust a blood vessel tonight. Trying to explain this to so many different people. Not everybody, because a lot of y'all know y'all who, bro. A lot of y'all know what y'all talking about. But we just trying to help everybody understand there's no need to panic right now. No need, man. You get one game, you get one road game, you got whole court advantage in the driver's seat. That's it. So the Pistons showed they can play with these boys. We already knew it, but now the rest of the league knows it. They watching us now. We know we can play with them. They showed the rest of the world they can play with these boys, and they did it on the road. We lost Stu. We were down 2 starters. Jaden is out. Stu's out. Well, Stu's not a starter, but a starter caliber player. So we're not even full strength. We show we can play with these guys, man. There's no need to be concerned right now.
Yep.
No need to be concerned. Let's see what happens in game 2.
Yep.
And go from there. Yep.
Go from there. And come home. Show out, man. Deuce, I noticed you got a shirt on, man. What kind of shirt is that?
I do, man. This shirt was actually made by the guy that's been going at us, and I've been going at. My dog Juan. So look, y'all. This is a custom Detroit. Let me stand up a little bit. Detroit Pistons. Look at this, bro. Look how fire this is.
That's the actual piston on the front, right? With the basketball.
Who is that? See that? So like y'all gotta check out Culture Detroit, man. They got 2 locations. One is downtown, I believe. Yeah, let's get it going. Yeah,
downtown, man. Right off Griswold. Go stop by. They are the ones that had that new Lion shirt that you seen all over the place, man. Now we got the Piston shirt. And like I said, it's just more than just the Detroit Lions or Detroit Pistons, man. Any pair of us exclusive shoes, exclusive clothes, exclusive snacks, exclusive snacks, man, from overseas, China, wherever, man. Like I said, these guys got so much exclusive stuff in that store.
Y'all gotta get down there, man.
Yeah, y'all gotta get down there. Y'all got to get down there.
Shout out to Juan, man. Shout out to Coach of Detroit, man. 2 locations now. Just opened up the second location not too long ago. Got one off Griswold and one off Livernois. So whichever one you want to go to, you can find some dope merch, and he gonna get you right for sure. So shout out to y'all, man.
For sure.
All right, man. We gonna call it there, bro. Good stream, good show. Shout out to y'all, man. DSN, shout out to Coach of Detroit for sure. Best kept secret unless you are. If you know about him, good for you. But a lot of y'all should and don't. So go check them out, man. But we can end it there, bro. Game 2 is going to be played right back at Madison Square Garden. And the Pistons will have to try to steal one. It'll be on Monday at 7:30 on TNT. So we will be right back here post game after that to hopefully have a different conversation and hopefully not have to talk more people off the ledge and be able to go from there. So Ken, you got anything else for a close, bro?
No, that's it, man. I was gonna say.
I see you thinking about it, but let's just hold on. It's been long enough. We'll end it there, man. We will see all of you guys on Monday night after the game, probably sometime around 10:15. The game's at 7:30. So we will catch you guys then. Appreciate all you guys' support. As always, you guys always show us love, and we will get with you guys then. So as you guys already know, Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot, and I'ma be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear your shade. Talking that chop, you must want this way. Trying to tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, Trying to tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're ready for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. The dog palm, mess around.